Okay, so for this problem, and I learned this from someone else. I think it was Steven or someone. But what we did was we took 5 random sequences, or I just made all of this up. I aligned the first letter all to be the same. And then for site 2, I changed a letter. You can see in sequence 4, that's like the only one that doesn't have a T in site 2. And then think of that as like your now branched off sequence from the other 4. So now let's look at site 3. Because it's branched off, just forget about it. Among 1, 2, 3, and 5, which one like has some sort of divergence? And we could see that in sequence 3, it has a cytosine instead of guanine like the others. So this is now also branched off. So when I look at site 4, I do the same thing. So at this point, 1, 2, and 5 still stands from site 3. So in site 4, looking at 1, 2, and 5, which one has a divergence? And we can see that at sequence 5, it branches off. So now we look at site 5 and see if there's any differences, and there is. This is where 1 and 2 branch off. So when you put this into, sorry for like the zoom in, the resolution is terrible, but anyway, when you put this into a branching thing, and I'll try to explain this as best as I can. So I'm just comparing it to sequence 1, and I try to like show where those divergences are taking place. So all of them start with T, and then this is where they branch off. So sequence 4 had an A on site 2. The others had a T on site 2. So at site 2, which is like, I have it in red here, T and A, that's like the nodes I have. A is going to be sequence 4, and the others will branch off here. This is a bad explanation, I'm sorry, but I hope this kind of makes sense. So node 1, they all have a T, and node 2, this is where all the others have T except for sequence 4, which has an A at node 2, or not node 2, site 2. So it branches off. Like, just ignore it and look at the others. So at site 3, we have a C from sequence 3, and then the others have a guanine. So that branches off. And then here, this is supposed to, I forgot to put like a line in here. But it's site 4, sequence 5 has a cytosine, the others have an adenine. So sequence 5 branches off. And then at site 5, you have 1 and 2 being different. So when we make the branching, you have to go, after you make something like this, you start with the model, or like I would say model, but you can say like the compared sequence, and I use number 1 as the compared sequence. That's why I have this whole branching thing, right? Because 2 looks like it's the closest to 1, and then second closest is 5, third closest is 3, and then the last was 4. So when I make this, I start with 1 because this is the one I want to compare with to all the other sequences. This is the one that diverges first, which is right here, 4. And then the one that diverges next is 3, which we see here. And then the one that diverges after that, because I have this one continuous chain, right? That's what is indicating I'm comparing this to 1, or like 1 is your common ancestor here. But anyway, second most similar to 1 is sequence 5, and then the most similar sequence is 2. So, and that's why it ends up on this end. because it's like 2 and 5 are just the two most similar sequences to 1. 3 and 4 branched out early. They're not as similar as 2 and 5 are. I hope this helps.